seats. Oh, good evening, everyone. We'll kind of get started. Nice. All right. Tonight's agenda is pretty light. Chances are those of you who are watching hockey games will probably appreciate that anyway. You might get home in time to catch the third period. It's going to be, as I said, it's going to be pretty light tonight. Unfortunately, Pierre couldn't make it tonight, so we're without AV equipment, which, unless Mirko wants to talk to what he's got, but I don't imagine he does. So I mean, the thing is, we'll wait till he gets some AV equipment. For that, I sincerely apologize, because that's partially my fault. I didn't think about it when I went and talked to Pierre last. He normally would be here, but he is unfortunately suffering with a bout of COVID, and he's just coming off of it, but he didn't want to be here to put anybody at risk, so he's doing fine, and so is his mother. So, anyway, as I said, the agenda is pretty light. I do have the silent auction consignment forms and reconciliations, the checks that some of you guys have been waiting for. So we can get that at least squared away and get that taken care of. As far as any actual club business, as I said, really light tonight. There isn't a whole heck of a lot out there. One thing I do want to mention, in the last couple of weeks, we were kind of blindsided by it. We lost one of our volunteers. He was a great guy, and a great volunteer, and just a great guy to be around. And that's Andy Vanderleest. There were a few of us who went to the funeral. It was a very good service. It was very well done. A lot of people had a lot of very good things to say about him. He was most of you will know him for his very sharp wit. Some of you probably have been on the receiving side of his very sharp wit. I know I was, being, he was Dutch, I'm German. That doesn't work. But I mean, Andy was a great guy, and he always knew exactly just how far to push it. He made whenever he was volunteering with us on any of the show setups or anything like that, he was always the first one there, ready to pitch in and help and just give her. And he always made it fun. And we're going to miss him, along with his brother Jim. Both of those guys were stellar guys. And they were with us basically from the moment they retired from their respective businesses and careers. And one of the things that is nice is that Andy got his granddaughters involved in coin collecting. And just as a general thing, I'm going to keep their membership active, because I think he would have appreciated that. And just as a small token of our appreciation and feeling for him. As I said, that was a blindside that came out of the blue. It was totally unexpected for his family as well. Apparently he was just sitting down to start working in on our box of keys and sort them out, and that's all there was. Bang, just like that. So in one respect, great way to go, but in another respect, terrible for the rest of us who survive it. So he will be very much missed.
Making a presentation training with Vanderleest's training.
We haven't discussed it yet at the executive level. I've got a few ideas up my let's leave with that. I don't wanna go with the executive with it.
Get it
Okay.
afterwards if there's enough of this.
Yeah. So, all right, as I said, really light agenda today. Oh, good heavens, we have a box. That's interesting, okay. All right, as for club business, we haven't really progressed very far with the hotel issue yet. That's still outstanding. We hope to have a progress report for you next month. We are carrying on with the Go for the Gold program. We're currently shopping for the silver rounds. We have a stock of those, and then we're also looking for some gold. The one thing that I found, I don't know if you guys have found the same thing, but when you go online and you look for sovereigns and things like that, that they are way over the price of spot.
Yeah.
Like hugely over, like double. You're looking at about a $300 or $400 coin, which is what the gold value should be, and then they're seeing them on the market for $800. And we're kind of the mind where we're gonna say, you know what, no, we're gonna wait. Because demand, you know, like supply will eventually exceed demand again, always does. Especially when it comes to things like bullion coins and stuff like that. Right now there's a bit of a shortage of them. Supply chain issues, manufacturing problems, what have you. But so what we're saying now is that yes, we will still make the award, but in the form, until we get the coin itself, it'll be in the form of a chit. We'll win it, and then they will be owed a sovereign from the club. Okay, which is our promise. So we will still continue with the volunteer recognition program. Yes, sir.
So is Go for Gold just for 2022? We're not playing catch up from.
No, we're just gonna go from 2022. I gotta talk to Joe, you know, about what we're gonna do with the planchet, considering that the planchet was running all through COVID. So, you know, like we may do a back draw for 2020 and 2021, but I have to discuss it with the executive, basically. We'll hammer that out. Because a few of you have contributed to the planchet all throughout the COVID period. So I want to make sure that everybody's recognized for that. So that, surprisingly enough, is about it. I expected to have some entertainment. I expected to have a presentation, but without a computer, we got nothing. So what we can do is we can talk about some show and tell. Did anybody bring anything? Like a coin? Jim? What do you got?
In expectation of Mirko's talk, I brought 5 dinara. It's a commemorative coin from Serbia. It has 2 king's heads with it. If my Cyrillic's correct, it's Peter and Kara.
Those ones are Peter and Karađorđe. Karađorđe was leader of Serbian uprising, which described in Ranke, German historical philosopher, Serbian Revolution.
I'll let
he was-
Mirko give this talk.
And his grandfather was Peter the First. And this coin is minted based on 100 years of Serbian first uprising, and there are 2 kinds of coin. On the rim, in one coin is written book God Save Serbia, and this is relatively common coin, is going around 100 euros, and another is more rare coin, book God Serbia Save, and that one is 300 up to 1500 euros.
Is it an arrow? Is it an error?
Euros, no, it
No?
is not error, this
Okay.
is internally, but a very low mintage, and I have both of them.
Okay.
I have complete coin. Another thing I like to tell based on this one, to understand present and to predict the future, you have to look in the past. This is one wise man told us. And after I like to continue show and tell, I brought a couple of things.
Okay.
This is Order Saint Sava. Saint Sava is in the first Serbian saint, and this is order given by church to people who deserve it in contribution and achievements and stuff like that. And there is several grades. This is grade 4, because you can look at it. Another thing I brought for show and tell is medal from World War I. And this medal is given directly from King Alexander I to his friends who fight with him under his command during the World War I. And my grandfather got that one. So this is what I can tell you.
Okay.
First point, what's the denomination?
All right.
5 dinars.
Did anybody else bring anything? Coinage wise.
1904.
Bill wise.
904.
All right, watch it.
This is
I didn't bring any coins, but I wasn't here last month because I was on a trip to Alaska. And when I got to Fairbanks, I found a really neat coin store. It's called Alaska Rare Coins in Fairbanks, and you can go online and look it up. It reminded me of coin stores back in the 70s. Lots of showcases, all kinds of albums on the shelf and books. And the guy's been in business for 40 years. So he admitted to me most of his business today is bullion. But he had ancient coins, he had lots, of course, US, but I even bought a 1960 Canadian silver dollar from him in condition. So and he gave me a sheet of Newfoundland. Like he's got all kinds of rare Newfoundland, including the 46C nickel. So he's got lots of high-end stuff. So if you're interested he has 2 auctions a year. So if you want to get on his list, you just go online and contact him and get him on get your name on his list. I don't know if it's a mail-out list or it's an online list. He didn't really tell me. I didn't go into much detail. But he showed me what he had just got as a collection, and this Newfoundland stuff was all the rare stuff, the 1873s and 46C nickels and so on. So he's got lots of stuff, but my wife kind of had me. So anyway, so I only spent an hour and a half there. Only, yes. Only, yes. But like I said, by the time I got out of there, my wife had me like this. So anyway, but it's worth going online and checking the stuff out that he has and sending him an email and seeing if you're interested in stuff. He does say he specializes in bullion, Alaska trade tokens, and of course he's got US stuff. But if you're into tokens and Alaska tokens, he might have Yukon tokens as well. So if you're into Canadian, that sort of stuff, he might be in, he would have some of that stuff.
So you said, what was the name again?
Alaska Rare Coins.
Alaska Rare Coins.
Yeah, and he's been around like I said, a long time.
So he'll ship stuff?
Oh yeah, he'll ship stuff, so, anyway, so.
Okay.
Much for paper there?
Pardon?
You see much for paper?
Oh yeah, you had paper too. Yeah. Oh yeah, like, if you go online, you can see some pictures, and they've got pictures of the shop, right? You can see just a line of showcases. Yeah, it's really neat. Anyway, just for your information.
Okay, that's cool, but speaking of Newfoundland, you brought up a good point. The other day, I got an old watch, very similar to one like this, okay? Basically an old English made watch it dates to about 1856, okay? And it was hallmarked London. But what was interesting about it was from a George Langmead in Newfoundland. And I thought, okay, that's kind of cool. A few things that I want to know. As a coin collector, I want to know what's one of these things worth. New in Newfoundland. What did they buy? What did they buy? What did they pay for them? The other thing is just who was this George Langmead? Found out that basically in 1841 he opened up a shop in Dartmouth, Devon, in England. And then a few years later, according to the book, which basically lists all the guild members and everything, the watchmakers of England, he went broke and bankrupt by about 1845. And then he turns up in St. John's, about 1846, and then runs a very successful business on Water Street in St. John's. I don't know if anybody has been there. And even got the address, 250 Water Street, 294 Water Street, and there happens to be a pub sitting there right now. Now, he built a very successful business, and from what I can see, at least 2 generations worked with him. George Langmead the second, or maybe his namesake, and then George Langmead Jr. And what's interesting is, George Langmead Jr. He's actually listed as a war hero. He was part of the Newfoundland Regiment, from what I can gather, and he unfortunately died in action in 1917. And he was born in St. John's in 1894. So he would have been the ripe old age of 22, 23 years old. And he was a second lieutenant, and basically he died with a lot of his regiment at Beaumont ML in Belgium.
In France.
France? Is that France? Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm a squarehead, all right? I get those places wrong.
Come on, you must know where France and Belgium.
Yeah, I know where they are. Yeah, I can find them on the globe, which is better than most Americans. But anyway, so yes, he was a bit of a war hero, and reading his record, wow, yeah, that's quite something. But what's nasty is, within 2 years, the whole family was gone. And whether they got it from the Spanish influenza that was going around in 1918, 1920, I don't know yet. I'm still doing research on it. But, like one thing about the coin hobby, getting back to what it costs. A watch like that cost around $6 Newfoundland dollars when it was new, which would have been actually in 1856, £1, 2 shillings, or thereabouts, in a Newfoundland pound. All right, and the Newfoundland pound apparently was convertible to the English pound. One thing I haven't found out yet, and maybe some of you can educate me on that, is what did they use for coinage? Were they using tokens, like their own made tokens, or were they using British currency, or what were they using? Does anybody know in the 1850s in Newfoundland? I know they printed banknotes. I was looking at one and thinking, oh, that'd be kind of neat. I was going to go and buy one. And then I see $1,500, $1,600. No. No.
I think the earliest they did their banknotes was 1914 or 17, something in that time period was the earliest that I've seen for like the common ones, and then they had their government ones, I think, 02.
Well, this was drawn on a Newfoundland bank.
Unless, but like actual government issues. So
Yeah.
I think chartered notes they had at that time period before as well,
Yeah.
I would have imagined.
It was a chartered note. You're right. There wasn't a Dominion of Newfoundland note. Because the Dominion of Newfoundland, first off, they rejigged their currency in 1865 to $1, and that was based on the Halifax system. It was actually worth a little bit more than a Canadian dollar was. The Canadian dollar, I think, what did that one go for? It was $5 to a...
I think it was
100 British pence was $2.
Yes, right. Yeah, that's it.
You found it.
Yeah.
Union Bank. If
Union
Yeah,
Bank of
Union.
Newfoundland,
you've
okay.
got 20,000, you can have $5.
No, I haven't got 20,000, not for a $5 note. £5 note?
Yeah,
Oh,
so it's
God.
about right.
And it looked like toilet paper too. Wow, no. Needless to say, I'm not gonna buy one. But anyway, so for a pound and 2 shillings, you bought that watch. And the thing still works. Okay, it needs a good cleaning, but I'll do that, and I'll turn this whole thing into a bit of an article as well. So here again, gets back to what were they using for coinage. For the note, okay, I got a pound. But for the coinage, what were they using to make the 2 shillings?
Probably British or anything. I know back then they would have used even American stuff too in the colony, like in that section.
Yeah, so you know, for all of those that don't understand, you know, how the pre-decimal system worked in this country, because I'm assuming in Upper Canada, Lower Canada, it worked the same way. They would either use brass or bronze tokens that were either hammered locally, and their silver coinage would be something from somewhere else, i.e. Spanish, American, British, or whoever, but it would all be done by weight. Is that correct?
I believe for silver, I remember reading in a book somewhere, it was mainly US and British.
Okay. And French, of course, yeah. Okay.
It was based on the intrinsic value of the silver.
All right, so a merchant would have had, let's say, a set of scales, and would have taken your Spanish doubloon and plopped it on the scale and then determined a value to it.
I think I remember reading somewhere, it was Mexican, Spanish, so technically Spanish at the time, but because it was a lower silver content, they liked the British because it was a higher silver content.
Right, yeah. Well, it was always sterling, right? So that's 925.
Well, technically, in some years, Andy can correct me, but I believe in the earlier ones, it was actually mixed up like 83, 89, or sorry, 89.3. Was it always sterling? Because I remember in
1837 onwards, the sterling was brought in.
Okay, so then it's-
Up until 1920. In 1920, what they did is they devalued it, they debased it.
20 and 21, I think, are 50%.
Yeah, they're even a totally different color.
Yeah.
When they age up, they're a gross green as opposed to a nice, beautiful
And they
black.
all glow red in the melting pot perfectly.
I'm sure they do, but then you gotta skim off all that copper. Okay. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I'm just trying to think about, you know, like what something like that would have been for a value back in the day. To this day, that watch still isn't worth a damn, okay? It's still not worth a great deal. It's basically got more, you know, like metal value as anything. It's hallmarked silver, so that's about all it's worth. Because it's a Verge movement, so it's not even a very good movement. But I just thought that, you know, that kind of thing, and to be able to trace the history back and learn more about what life was like in Newfoundland at the time. I mean, the thing is, what was their major economic driver? Fishing. Yeah. Okay. So that would have been probably pretty foul to be living there. Wouldn't have smelled very good. That's cool. Yeah, that's neat. Have a rack full of those on your chest. Wow. Very well made too. They're very beautiful. So okay. So between Newfoundland and the British Isles at that time, was there a lot of back and forth trade?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, Newfoundland was technically a dominion of its own, right?
It was actually not a dominion, it was actually part of Britain. It's like Saint-Pierre and Miquelon is to France, as Newfoundland was to England.
Okay, because I mean, the thing is, like Danny said, the later banknotes that they actually
It was
made,
governed by Newfoundland.
they were actually dominion of Newfoundland.
It was technically an independent country, I believe, up until 47.
49.
49 and then
It was
they only
self-governed.
Yeah, it was self
Yeah.
But it didn't have control of foreign affairs and all.
Okay, so yeah, because I know they had a prime minister who was over actually visiting the troops in France.
No, they didn't have, it was a
Well,
criminal.
as you know, Mark, the calendar we're in right now is still 1949. It is.
Maybe in your world, but
The calendar is 1949 now.
yeah, I know, every 7 years it does that, right?
It's not really, no.
or 8 if it's a leap year. Okay, anyway, yeah, but, so with that, with Newfoundland, what was the driver that ended them up into Canada? Why did they not retain their independence?
They got covered.
They had no money.
They had no money. Okay.
Well, they had three votes.
They'd gone bankrupt a couple times.
They had, okay.
And they voted to join either America, Canada, or go independent. They convinced themselves that they couldn't afford to be independent at the time, and they liked the Americans, but they decided in the end to join Canada. They felt they had more roots with Canada.
Okay.
Thank you, Joey Smallwood.
Done, because it eliminated one and then came down to 2. And they
Okay.
were told, apparently, when I was there a few years ago,
Uh-huh.
the first Premier Smallwood asked, which should we put our money in? They said one thing, educate people, eventually you'll get better times. But every penny you have in education.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they they haven't done too badly by joining Confederation. I mean, a lot of them were working in Fort McMurray, but still. But yeah, no, it's just that all right. I don't know a heck of a lot about Newfoundland history, and so that's why I'm asking questions. Yes, sir.
One thing you might want to do if you ever start off would be to find the book, Wine into, I forgot the rest of the title, I apologize. But basically, they describe how stuff went from Newfoundland to France, so that France could send it to England to send things back to Newfoundland. And it's a really fascinating story of how the fisheries and the beginning of the trade evolved.
Okay.
In the very early days.
Okay. It's not like the joke with the $100 bill.
No, this was a serious book,
Okay.
a thick book.
Okay. Well, if you could give me the title of that, I'd appreciate it.
A lot of their trade was with the Caribbean. They just caught down there and brought rum and other stuff back north. That's where streets come from.
Okay.
The question I have for this club, because I'm not what's called very knowledgeable when it comes to things before 1964, given the fact I wasn't collecting these then before that year. Could you get here in Alberta, Calgary, or Edmonton, Newfoundland coinage?
In Edmonton?
In your change.
Could you?
Sure.
I did,
Yeah, I did too.
I have.
Yeah.
I got a penny.
Like 1960 or 1955?
Yeah, I've heard that you could, they were still circulating around, because after 49, a lot of that stuff continued to circulate.
I think the last issue was 47.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fish into wine. All right.
I've even had at banks here a few years ago, I had Newfoundland pennies.
So it was mostly pennies because the rest was.
Well, the silver was different size, yeah.
Yeah, going up and
Well, here you go. I've got a Newfoundland cent here, 1943. A 43 Newfie cent. It's the same size as a Canadian penny. The only thing that George has got a funny hat on, that's all. And the back's slightly different.
It looks nicer in my opinion than the Canadian.
Yeah, it's got the, what is it? What kind of a flower is that? It's not a dandelion, is it? It's a which? Pitcher plant?
Pitcher.
Okay. See, there you go. You're educating me. That's great. Because I know absolutely nothing about this stuff. It's a provincial flower? Okay. So yeah, I'm finding this interesting. So the legend is Georgia's 6 De Gratia Rex at Indian. Okay, so it's the same legend as a Canadian penny at the time, or a Canadian coinage. Same size as a Canadian penny. So imagine the dime and the did they have was it 25? It was a 25-cent piece by then, right?
They had 20 for a long time.
Yeah.
But I think 17, 18, and 19, they changed to 25 cents before that they were 20.
Right.
They're the exact same size.
And they were physically the same size.
Exact same size, exact same weight.
All right. So at some point they must have gone off the Halifax standard onto the Canadian standard.
Or inflation.
Or inflation. Okay. All right. Okay. Great. Well, thank you very much for the information. I'll definitely. That's definitely going to help with the article.
There is a hardcover book called Currency of Newfoundland, which is very difficult. Dan might know. Dan?
Dan.
Yes,
Currency
sir.
of Newfoundland, was that in our CNA library? The hardcover book?
There's a couple of different books, yes.
There's one called Currency of Newfoundland.
Yes, yes.
It's very expensive, I
Graham
know.
and Rowe and others.
But that's an excellent source.
That's an excellent source, all right, okay. I just look up, yes, sir?
Where would, back in them days, Newfoundland, where would they have got their coins from?
England.
No,
Some in Canada, some in England.
Yeah, after 1908, they basically came to Canada, and they're marked with a C. So like that penny here, 1943 C. Prior to that, it would have been London or the Heaton Mint, Birmingham. I would probably imagine it would have been the Heaton Mint in Birmingham, because they did a lot of the extra Royal Mint runoffs, and their quality was just as good, if not better,
Majority of
than.
them were funded because, looking at the book, there was a couple in the earlier 1900s, like 1904, where they had H hallmarks.
Okay.
But the majority of them was like, for example, 17C, 18C, 19C.
Yeah, those were
Royal Mint.
Yeah, those were Ottawa.
Yeah.
Okay, but
The C's were Ottawa.
the C's were Ottawa, obviously the H would be Heaton Mint.
And then the ones that didn't have either.
Mark,
Or London.
Yeah.
next question I have, and again, being a Westerner, I would know. In St. John's, okay, or Corner Brook, prior to 1949, would you have been able to get what is called your Canadian decimal, non-Newfoundland coinage, or not?
Don't know. I imagine you probably you could, because I imagine a lot of it filtered through there. I don't see why not. I mean, it was the same physical size, same physical weight. So, you know, in Canadian, well, okay, by that time, Dominion of Canada or the Bank of Canada existed, so that would have been a solid currency. So,
A lot of the charter notes, I remember reading like a newspaper article I found actually that, I think in 44, where the Bank of Canada said they would stop allowing the chartered banks to issue notes, and it was I'm trying to remember what it was, but it was something like that. The vast majority of the notes out east of the smallers were all chartered bank notes. It wasn't even government or the Bank of Canada that would circulate. Those
Really?
mainly would circulate in the big populations.
Okay.
And the smaller stuff in smaller towns, a lot of the stuff would be charter issued.
that's kind of neat, okay. Because it often, you know, like on a bit of an aside, I'd often wondered how that chartered.
Well, I remember reading, I think actually, the official Bank of Canada has early in the mid 2000s, they put out a lot of really neat books out about the history. I think they even have the digital copies of it on their website, so you can download the PDF and look through.
Okay.
Really interesting books, especially with the early designs and like the test notes and stuff like that and their designs.
Okay.
But I remember reading when the first Bank of Canada series notes came out in 1935.
Yep.
People were rejecting them because they didn't know what the hell the Bank of Canada was. They didn't
Yeah,
trust the bank.
that's right, yeah. Yeah, which makes it interesting and probably scarce. It's probably one of the reasons why the French issue, besides being numerically inferior, never took off and disappeared very quickly.
Well, because a lot of people, I believe, out either BC or Alberta, when they received this, like, what the hell is this?
Well, not only that, you know, try and find a dollar in Alberta in 1935. Okay, there weren't any. Okay, that's cool.
Alberta Prosperity.
Yeah, the prosperity certificate. There you go, yeah.
Dollar, yeah.
Not like myself, it often, of course, talks about things, of course, not only in the lands, Atlantic Canadian. And I'm for all of them, every year, every episode, I kind of dig around.
Okay.
And I often wonder, because they've got all the good artifacts, but they never mention anything about coins.
No, well, because most people aren't very interested in coins. Speaking of coins and getting back into that, how many people here do collect chartered notes? Just two? Really?
I think they look nicer than the Canadian government ones.
Well, yeah, from the ones that I've seen, they certainly do. Okay, sure, you got your dead white guys on them, but that's fine. But I mean, some of the other vignettes are actually very, very pretty.
Look, Barclays in that new tent, those were gorgeous. You look at the imperial ones with the backs, holy.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. I still have some face proofs and back proofs, I think. Those things
Get a very nice collection.
Okay.
Small charter notes.
You do?
No, you can. You can put together a nice collection of small charter notes from 1934 to about 51 or 2. What happened was the Bank of Canada, when they began to issue their notes in 1935, they told all the charter banks they could not issue any notes higher than a $5 denomination.
Okay,
So from then on, all the notes from 35 on, 34, you can still find $10 notes and $20 notes, but after that, they were all,
$5 or less.
$5 notes, and they're all the small denominations, the same size as the Canadian.
Oh, okay,
So they reduced the size.
all right, interesting.
It's about 40-something plus notes, and you can complete the whole collection
Okay,
of charter notes.
so, you know, that's another thing a person can probably collect, and with the way Canadian decimal paper has, or Canadian Bank of Canada paper has gone recently, it might be an interesting alternative.
There's definitely much more variety, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Beautiful, and very nice engravings and so on,
Yeah,
on some of them.
so, okay. All right, does anybody else have anything? I've taken up a lot of, yes, sir.
Anybody heard about these Ukrainian bonds, Canadian denominated bonds, they're gonna start
Not out
selling?
yet. Not out yet.
They're not out yet.
They're not out yet? Okay, I wasn't even aware that there are any.
Yeah, they were announced last Friday,
Uh-huh,
but the details have not been issued. And we don't know if it's gonna be retail versus, corporate.
okay,
But the rate of return is supposed to be substantial,
What do you mean by substantial?
25 plus.
well, that is if the Ukrainian government survives.
I think they're guaranteed by the Canadian government.
They're guaranteed by the Canadian
By
government.
you, the taxpayer.
Oh.
Will be all paid for by
I want
the
some.
Ukrainian government, but, the technical issue will be, it's issued by Canada, right?
Really?
Oh, are these the
That's
Ukrainian
exactly what's gonna
war
happen,
bonds?
so.
Yeah.
just heads up, just pay attention for the details, but it might be a few days yet before the details. come
Yeah, it's the Canadian
Very
government, I
interesting.
heard about it last week, the Canadian government's financing and backing it, and they're the ones responsible for the issue. Basically, it's like when during the Second World War, when the British government was almost exiled, it's basically like they're running it here, it sounds like. And they're
Oh.
financing it.
Okay,
It's a four-letter word, Mark, risk.
Apparently Canada's not the only country gonna do this either.
okay,
There's other
Apparently
countries,
there's other countries, it's only the Canadian government so
yeah,
far.
we heard that there was other
But there might,
countries.
who knows what's gonna come out of the woodwork.
okay. All right,
Question here?
yes, sir.
Okay, November 12th and 13th at West Edmonton Mall, the Royal
Yep.
Canadian Mint will be setting up a display, and they're going to do a coin exchange. I'll be there for the 2 days with them.
A coin exchange.
A coin exchange, yes, sir.
Finally, it's returning.
Yeah, it's returning.
Okay, and what do they mean by a coin
You
exchange?
take a crappy coin in, they give you a nice new one that's hopefully a commemorative.
Yeah, but
Limited to 3 coins per.
Oh, is this for the new loonies?
So I can't dump my pennies off?
You wish.
You come with an old loony, you come with the old loony. You're,
The old loonies are much better made than the new ones, I'll tell you that right now.
I know.
I made every goddamn one of them. Yeah, that's it.
A blank, yeah, you're right.
Yes, yeah, I shoveled all the nickel for all that. That's made in '68, that's RCM, that's not one of ours.
What year is yours?
77 and up.
yeah, that coin exchange, the two main ones they're promoting is the one for Oscar Peterson, well, the music, and Team Canada 72. It'll feature the players,
Yeah,
Okay,
and it's a trade. And the guy at the store while I was there said that's gonna be the last set of toonies put out with Queen Elizabeth on them, the hockey ones.
yeah, okay,
It's actually a nice looking coin, the Summit series one.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
okay. Yeah, because I imagine starting in January or so, the 2023 issue, March?
I've heard March.
March,
Yeah, I would
okay.
think, Because usually it's February or March from the next year, you start seeing them show up either in PL sets or in
Yeah, they start making
sort of
second
uncirculated sets, they call them now.
Yeah.
new year. So I'm
Okay.
thinking Charles would, because the British are already having, they already
Yes.
have a
That's right.
set up.
Yeah.
Pants.
He sent me a picture of a 50p.
Yeah, they had a.
It's gonna be Christmas when the 50 pence is in.
Yeah, those are gonna be, they're mint products, but they're gonna be approved.
No, it's circulation 50 pence is
Oh, it's actual
Christmas.
circulation.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Wow.
And they're actually hammering them out right now. The only thing is, you know, like, when you look at the portrait first initially,
Yeah.
doesn't look too bad, but from a distance, it looks like they got the greengrocer over and, I don't know where.
Well, you just put it there.
I frankly don't mind it, if it's gonna be based off the British
What are you laughing at?
artwork, it doesn't look bad.
Okay,
I'm full of information.
Yeah, I know.
sorry?
When Elizabeth came, was 2 years after then she got her bills. Like she came 52.
Yeah.
The bills were.
Okay, part of that is because of the thing is, when they're issuing a set of notes, they wanna run that series out. Okay, and that's what they did. So yes, with the Elizabethan notes, when they finally ran that last George series of the Bank of Canada out, the George VI ones, when they finally ran that out, then they changed it. You'll notice also back in, what was it, 1991, I think it was? Or is it 2001? I can't remember. When they changed the $1,000 bill, because the $1,000 bill was a series 54?
88 was what they issued.
It's 88? Okay. So, and then 88, you finally got a modern design, and prior to that, there was nothing else. Okay, you either had the series 54 or the 88.
Charles is still on probation.
He's still on probation. Yeah.
Just wanna jump you back to the clinic thing.
Yeah.
It's the 12th and the 13th at West Edmonton, Stanton.
Okay.
Okay, and those are the details. So if you wanna read them.
Okay, so a coin exchange is an even trade or swap of Canadian money for a new commemorative or circulation coins. Individuals simply exchange ordinary circulation coins for new commemorative one. The amount given by an individual is the same amount received. Individuals can exchange any Canadian circulation coin or banknote denomination. For example, to obtain the new $1 Oscar Peterson commemorative circulation coin, one can use 1 loonie, 1 toonie, and receive 2 commemoratives. In return, 4 quarters, 25-cent coins, or you can even use a $5 banknote and receive 3 $1 commemorative circulation coins and a toonie in exchange for a total of $5. Limit of 3 coins per customer.
There you are.
So if you give a 5 over, how you?
You get three Oscar Petersons and a toonie.
He's operating it from
Your tuning will probably be a
He's right.
circulation coin.
He's right. I should beat you, son. Yes, he's right, but yes, yeah.
Did you hear that?
I went to ATB Financial.
Guys.
Maybe they'll just give you notifications.
I went to ATB Financial a week ago for getting change for a show, and the lady asked for 10s. She said the McDonald 10 is being withdrawn, and she gave me the new Desmond ones. So they're pulling them in evidently. That's what I heard from ATB Financial. I don't know if anybody else has heard that they're being withdrawn.
I haven't heard anything.
Anyway, that's what she told me. She gave me the new ones and then give me a
Technically,
McDonald's.
you're supposed to be withdrawing any polymer notes that have any creases or anything like that. The Bank of Canada, if you actually go on their forms and stuff, they have a bunch of sheets that they're supposed to designate for towers.
Yeah.
And, I'll send you a link or something if I
Okay.
can find it. And, anything that's deemed unfit by a tower, they're supposed to pull and reject, including any polymer notes. But I would suspect they'd start yanking those things soon. I've seen there's new Wilkins mackerel, or sorry,
Lane.
yeah, no, not Lane mackerel, Wilkins mackerel vertical tens now, so they have new prefixes like triple Fs.
Right.
FFKs, all those new ones keep coming out.
Yeah.
FFR, and then there's new Lane mackerel signatures for other polymer notes, so they're printing like crazy right now.
Okay, well, that's how to keep the collectors interested anyway. Okay.
Especially for signatures.
But on the topic of the vertical notes and
Yeah.
with the Queen, these current 20s, the Frontier series that we have will probably still be around for another 3-4 years because the Bank of Canada originally, when they were switching over to the vertical, they said we were supposed to get the vertical 5 in 2020, 2021.
Right.
That got postponed. We don't even know when. They haven't even decided, I guess, on when we're gonna.
Well, I keep hearing rumors that they're thinking about a $5 coin.
I doubt they
That
will
would make
because.
total
Yes.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, because that makes sense, because I mean, the thing is with the $5 polymer, it's just getting too expensive to make those.
Actually, to follow that up, I saw about a year ago on the news,
Uh-huh.
doing a feasibility study on that very topic.
Okay,
And they're still gonna do it for a few years. They have too many, businesses to interview,
right.
so give it
Yeah.
a bit more time.
It's gonna be a heck of a change if they do decide to do it, because obviously vending machines and things like that. And then, of course, there's a whole sizing issue, and, because nobody wants to carry around a big
I remember
honking
back in
silver dollar size thing.
2011, the Coin News actually had an article where there was a Bank of Canada study and they wanted to see what kind of interest there would be if they instituted a $200 bill. And, it didn't go well. People said keep it the way it is, and it was same with
Yeah.
reducing from
Well-
1 cent coin after the penny conversion and everything, that is a
Well, it's like anything, right? I mean, when the US Mint did the same thing about their dollar coins, when they've been trying to introduce a US loonie, or, you know, like a US loonie equivalent for decades now. And each, you know, because the post office, the prime driver for that is the US postal system and also the transit system. It just makes it easier if you use dollar coins as opposed to folding up bills. Yeah,
The reason that the problem is, the banknotes when you go to the Department of Printing and Engraving, Bureau of Printing and Engraving, which is not under control of the Ministry of Finance. The Mint is under the Ministry of Finance.
Treasury is under the Department of Treasury is under the federal government, but Bureau of Engraving and Printing is under the Federal Reserve. So it's two separate things.
And of course, they're never gonna stop printing banknotes, that's their whole bread and butter.
yeah.
So the dollar fails every time because they can't withdraw the $1 bills. Because
Right.
the Bureau won't agree to that.
Okay. All right, yeah, no, with US currency, there's a whole different art and a whole different, con game going on with those. You know, like the actual state of their economy, from what I've read, is actually financially worse than that of the Greeks. If it wasn't for the fact that they're a reserve currency, that everybody uses them, they would have been bankrupt a long time ago. So, okay. Okay, let's do a quick
There's quite a few on there.
10 minutes, 10-minute break, grab up, get a coffee, think of something else you want to talk about, or, yes?
Anybody who had lots in the silent auction but didn't sell all of them, come and see me, I have them here.
And those who had checks from the silent auction.
What's the first one that says American?
It was listed in the back page as a copy of the actual sales. Last call for door prize tickets.
Yeah, so if you go on there, you can look at all these, and I saw the pieces. I just took the best ones. It's kind of funny the way it's la, you have to look twice. That's what it says.
All right, we're going to close the door prize and we'll start calling them out.
Okay, don't forget your bag, pieces of paper and right there. Yeah, the other half is in the end. Thank you.
You never did discover how I always kept things up with you.
Yeah, that's great.
Start a brawl, here we go.
Yeah, yeah, oh, that's great.
We're telling you to do it, don't you? Stick your hand in there.
All right, first number is, and I'm gonna read the last 4 digits, 6981. Orange ticket.
6981.
6981. I did say 6981.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth €20 though.
Yeah, it's silver.
It's silver.
That's all that matters.
No, you don't do it. Get off. Stick your hand in here and see if you get bit. Just one, yeah. Pink ticket, 4166.
Whoa, just a minute, just a minute.
4166. Yep.
Commander read, Commander read wrong.
That's silver. That's 40%.
Don't strain your eyeballs.
Round goes with it. Orange ticket, 6901. There's 76 or so. They're both together. Oh, no. Stick your hand in the door. Orange ticket, 6983.
Serious?
You again.
You're gonna get mugged on the way out.
Orange ticket, 6971.
He's a tough crowd. Tough crowd.
Orange ticket, 6885. Right?
6885.
Yeah, no, it's wrong. Yeah, 6885, yeah, I want the ticket. You want the ticket? I want the ticket, yeah.
You know, take the point.
You get to take those two, those two, those two, those two.
I think this one.
You're gonna take silver.
And now, which one do I want?
Orange ticket. Comes in. 6975.
all the same area.
Come on.
You don't live in the right area code then, do you?
Mix the bag, Andy, mix the bag.
I didn't mix it.
Hey, come on.
6975.
6969.
6975. Who is it?
You're out of line.
I'm sorry.
It's you again?
You again?
I can't help it, bud.
6975.
No, just see. I was hoping to share many stuff, that's why.
No, there's no more shared mess. I saw an Air Canada token.
Oh yeah, that one.
I'll take mine.
Now, make sure you
I'm mixing it up.
mix it
I'm
up.
mixing
right?
it up.
If you draw your own, you can get lost.
Another one.
Are you sure there's fucking pink ones in
Sorry, Derek, I had to take all the pigs out to, block him.
6994.
I'm glad it wasn't me.
6994.
Oh, at least somebody else is winning.
Somebody else at least, yeah. Wow. There is justice.
Give it a good mix up, yeah. See? Stop your whining, yeah?
Orange again.
Orange again? There must be a weight difference or something.
417.
No, they're all mixed up pretty well. What was that? 6, 8, 8, 9.
One of the first.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll do it.
good. At least it's not a bouncing check.
Soon to be cancelled check, yeah.
There's a lot of people behind you.
I'm gonna need an escort right here.
Pink, it's pink!
Oh, boy, we're ready, we're ready.
4151. Straight after me.
There you go.
69.
Perfect. In the meantime, you can pick another one.
Both of them. It's pink!
417.
Better not be yours, eh?
Oh, it is.
No way.
Sleight of hand.
Nope.
Nope, nope.
Which glasses on? Did you pick yours yet? Yeah.
Now, his are all marked, I say.
Pink. 4101.
4101.
69.
4101. There we go.
Look at this, look at this.
You won last time.
Well, you got
Some people have horseshoes in places.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get both of them. Yeah.
Sure. So what, there's 3 lots left?
Yeah. Oh, it's pink.
Beautiful.
4093.
4093. 4093.
We won twice last time, didn't you? With my imagination.
Some people, as I say, just got horseshoes in places.
Or a lot of tickets.
Or they bought a lot of tickets.
Or a lot of tickets, yeah.
Again?
Again, I guess.
2 in a row.
Noch einmal mit,
And I drew it, don't forget that.
Shame on you. Is there any more?
417.
will just stay up there.
Pink.
you never win.
4106.
4106.
German out.
Yeah, I know, I heard that.
The pressure might be off you there, Barlos.
4106.
It's not even sitting down.
He's not even sitting down yet, he's probably got it.
Oh, look at that.
Well, that was nice of him, yeah.
Doesn't want to get rolled.
Thank you.
Your heat is off.
What was the number?
4106.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
What's this one or this one and this one?
This one and these.
Here, I'll take the last.
You get
Both
this
of
goes
them.
with
Yeah, both of them.
Yep,
Pick how many? Pick one. Pick one.
just one.
Doesn't matter. Orange ticket. 6905.
6905. There we go. Oh, well. Okay. With that concludes the floor prize. Yep,
Yes.
go ahead, Howard.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the people who donated the door prizes, first of all.
Okay, thank you.
So those who are interested in consigning to the silent auction for the March show.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I won't be here for the December meeting, but January and February meetings, those are the kind of, February is your deadline. But the earlier the better, the sooner I can get it started, right? Because I have to do the catalog. So, over the Christmas holidays, when you got nothing better to do, go through your coins, and if you decide that there's paper money, if you decide there's something you want to sell, then put it aside, and because I'm already starting on my own stuff to put in. So just remember, January meeting and February meeting.
January, February, yep.
The February meeting's the deadline, because I'll need the month to get the thing done and take it to the printers and so on. Okay, so February meeting.
Just to add to what Howard said.
Gentlemen, please.
If you go to the EdmontonCoinClub.com website, and you go to the shows page, you can actually download the consignment form on the website.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And I'll have some here at the January meeting for those who don't have any. I should have brought some of this meeting, but
Yeah, that's all right.
I'll give it
If
to you.
anybody's interested, the Phillies are leading 7-0 and the Oilers are leading 4-1.
Right on.
Okay, good.
I'll bring
Well,
some to the breakfast meeting, and you can bring them to the.
We'll bring them out, okay,
December
sure,
meeting.
we'll do.
Okay.
All right, does anybody have anything else? No? Settle up your auctions over there. Thank you very much for coming out. My apologies again for not having Mirko's display and talk on again. We will try that again next month. Good try, yeah. Promise we will get entertaining.